This is the Then Everything After podcast with your boy Amax.
Sasha Chantel.
And Franklin, aka the King of Trainers. How we doing, guys? What's up?
Hey fam, you alright?
We're good, man.
I'm well. And yourselves?
Good. All good over here.
Good stuff. So take it away, sir. What are we talking about today?
Right. So, obviously there was and I hate talking about these subjects. It's so depressing and it's so infuriating, and it just evokes so much negative feelings. But I feel it's an important subject that we need to touch on, and this is in relation to the gentleman recently who lost his life at the hands of police.
Okay.
And his name was George.
George Floyd, yeah. George Floyd. Yeah.
And I feel like this is something to touch upon because it, especially at a time like this, shouldn't be happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, when everyone's panicked and everything is already hard as it is.
Yeah.
It's not on. But before I even give my views, I'm going to hand the mic over to either one of you to kind of take the pulpit.
Fab, I'm going to throw it to you. Give me some energy. Let's do this.
Okay, so George Floyd, I put a post up today saying hashtagging his name and putting his name out there. What is sad about this situation is we have to face facts. This is straight racism.
Yeah.
I saw a clip by Michael. Was it Michael Rapport, the white?
Rappaport, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he said something very, very cutting. He said, "You will never see a policeman put his knee on the neck of a Jewish man."
That's right.
Yeah.
That is very true.
He said, "You will never see it." He said, "You haven't seen it." He said, "It doesn't exist."
I haven't seen it.
You know what I mean? And he said that if Black Lives mattered, so I mean, sorry, I don't want to quote what he said, but it was along the line that this is happening to Black people and Black people only.
Exactly.
You know, in that way, you know. So this is a racist thing. It's also a thing that shows that a lot of the police don't value Black lives.
No.
That's why we have this whole Black Lives Matter. And I met the team. I actually met the Black Lives Matter team out in LA, and we were speaking about this whole situation. And sometimes it infuriates me when people say all lives matter, but all lives don't.
Yeah,
all lives don't matter. Exactly, all lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter, and this is what has to happen. I think the interesting thing is, how do we fight this? You know, I saw Sideman say a comment today saying that he was very angry about it, and he said he can't fight the judicial system back. And the problem is that's how we live as Black men. You know, I also want to shout out Judy Love. Judy Love, she sent me a nice message this morning saying that she wants to just pray for us and protect Black kings because we are victims. We're targets.
Under attack.
We're targets. You know, and we're targets in so many ways. We're targets by our own because Black on Black crime is high. We're targets from us different stereotypes that we are quote unquote criminals or whatever it may be, and then when it's a normal police stop, and also not a police stop, when the other guy was jogging and he got attacked by the white guys and killed because he was jogging. And we're under attack. This is
you know what? It's funny you say that. There was a video, I'm sure you've both seen it, where the lady was out with her dog and the guy was out minding his business, and he goes to give the dog a treat, and she decides she's going to use his skin color. Yes.
Well, so what happened? So I don't know if it was a treat. She didn't have her dog on a leash, and he said, "Oh, ma'am, are you gonna put your dog on a leash?" And she was like, "Get away from me!" Then it kind of escalated. That's when the camera got turned on.
And isn't it because he touched her dog as well? Because he made contact with her dog.
I thought it was that. I thought it was an incident part where he contacted her dog in some way, and she started kicking off even more.
Okay. I didn't see. I need to research that bit. But I think what's sad is that she knew what she was doing.
Exactly.
She was saying things like, "He's an African American and he's attacking me, and I'm under attack." And
it was a script.
Sickening. Absolutely sickening.
If you're under attack, you run.
That's right. Yeah, you don't stand there.
100%.
There's no other way. If you fear, you run. That is the human nature of fear, to run away. You don't have time to look your attacker in his face, call the police, and say he's African American. You know what you're doing.
Well, do you know
exactly
what?
That.
I agree on that, but when it comes to the human nature, there's actually 3 spheres of how we react. It's fight, flight, or fear, or freeze.
Okay.
And she decided to fight because she knew that she could get away with it. Okay, that's the only reason. As a woman on her own against a man, really, we don't stand there and start arguing any race of woman, really. But she felt like she knew she'd win this, so she knew she could just stand there and fight for no reason other than him being black. That's it. And that's all it came down to.
Yeah.
So
it's just a shame. I've had so many messages today around these subjects and topics, and it's just like, this is 2020.
Come on now.
I saw a clip that's very, very interesting, and it said something about the length of slavery. Yeah. And slavery, they said slavery's been going on for 400 years, and then I think it was 100 years ago they stopped slavery. However, there's a few flaws in the way they stopped slavery. So the judicial system, what's the legislations that's been written up? These stuff was written up at a time when slavery was still there.
That's
right. You get what I mean? And it hasn't really changed. All these things that the US laws and UK laws abide by haven't really changed. So when we look at these things happening to black people, and then the police not getting arrested, or they're not getting sacked, or they're not getting, or these things not happening, we have to really look at the laws of America, the UK, and everywhere where there's injustices. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And see when these laws were passed and at what period of time. Because if these laws were passed at a time where we were enslaved or just came out of slavery, then it's a void law. Do you get what I mean? And also, slavery has not stopped. When they say, oh, it's a level playing field and you've got opportunity as a black person and blah, blah,
no.
That is flawed, because, say, for example, you've been enslaved for 400 years. So you're trying to catch up in your lifetime. You're trying to catch up 400 years worth of setbacks. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not setbacks. It may not be setbacks educationally. It may not be setbacks financially. It's setbacks emotionally and spiritually.
That's right. Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that trauma of 400 years up until now, which brings us to 500 years, because that's the time, the 100 years that slavery has quote unquote been abolished. It still hasn't been abolished, because we're still going through these things right now.
Exactly.
That's what we're, it was really interesting hearing the point of view of this lady. And it was actually a white lady who said it.
Okay.
And it showed that we're trying to catch up for 400 years. So when they say there's a level playing field, it's okay, don't talk about race and don't talk about that. I just want to punch people in their face and be
No, it's true.
I agree though, but I agree. True. Like, let me, you know what? It's funny. It's not funny. It's interesting to hear you say these things, because there was a path I started going down and I had to stop myself, because the more I dug, the more angry I got.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this was looking at the Congolese people. Yeah. I decided to look at the Republic of Congo and look at the relationship between them and Belgium. Yeah. And then I tried to unpick it, because they always say, the reason why we don't get what the Jewish people got is because of difficulties proving whose assets belong to who, and where to apply pressure, blah, 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 bullshit. Yeah. And the reason I call bullshit is because we know it was rubber. Yeah. And resources of that nature that were being taken, that Belgium used to build themselves, that the United Kingdom benefited off of, and other parts of the world benefited off of directly. So as you're a benefactor and you built wealth off of that, it means if I come back asking for you to cut a check as the true owner, technically, just the same way the Jewish people did by creating all these different bodies and organizations and approaching, was it the United Nations that they approached? I think they approached the United Nations with what they created. They created this big, massive movement, and they used that movement to apply pressure to get back what was rightly owed to them.
Exactly.
So therefore, if we want to talk about slavery and we want to talk about reparations, I realize it's tough and it's annoying, but it has to be segmented and tackled as a united front. Do you get what I mean? Like,
I agree.
I can't say I've got all the answers, so I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, it's just as easy as that. You just walk into the UN and say, yo, boss man, cut me a check for $5 billion. Like, it's not.
No, it's true. You can't do that. I don't think a figure can be actually put on what's owed, though. No. We couldn't actually do it. We can't even put a figure on how many people have died in slavery for Black people. We can't actually say, that amount of people were killed, because you can't do it. Yeah. It doesn't exist. It's impossible.
This is it's good you mentioned that, Sash. It's just like all the records of slavery have quote unquote been tarnished, because not tarnished, but
they're not accurate.
It's written by white people. So it's written by people who were slave owners. Do you know what I'm saying? So all the ledgers, all the history archives and all the ledgers and stuff were written by people who were in the slave system.
Exactly.
So if, for example, quote unquote, they call slavery slave people property. If, for example, you've got a boat of 1,000 people crammed inside that boat, and then 500 of them, you're going to say 500 of them came. Does that make sense? You're not going to tell in the ledger
the ones that died on the journey and so forth.
You threw them overboard. Yeah, they threw them overboard. Do you get what I mean? So it's a very ingrained, touchy subject. Do you get what I mean? And I feel that sometimes when we see these things going on with the police in America, we have to understand how America was formed. You know,
exactly.
America was formed based of savage killing and pillage. You know?
And
they don't want to hear that, but that is their history.
That's their history.
That's their roots.
Anyone who comes from America, apart to the Native Americans and Africans were there first. Like, there's no way they can tell me, oh, they were there first, blah,
but
blah.
They do. But they do, and this is the problem. This is the ignorance. You can't have a conversation with people who have this whole ideal of what they are as a country. As a country, they're the home of the brave, and that's it. And they follow the rules, and everything is right, and their constitutions are perfect, and it's not true. And until them as a people see their flaws, they'll continue to repeat their flaws. They see nothing wrong with their justice system. If you speak to a normal American on the road, they think nothing of it. They see nothing wrong. They'll find an excuse why it was okay for that policeman to put his knee on that man's throat and literally suffocate him to death. They'll look at his background and say, oh, but he sold marijuana. Oh, he carried a gun without having a license. Oh, he had an underage girlfriend, and that would be a good enough reason to murder him. And they're always finding reasons why it's okay to murder people.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. It's murder. That's it.
You know what that energy is? That's the same energy that is carried into the justification of why the murderous character in a TV series or program is like okay to get a pass, because it's embedded into a culture. Do you get what I'm saying? It's indoctrinated into people, right? Okay, so that guy killed somebody, but that guy was a bad guy. So this guy who killed him was justified for killing him, even though this guy was also a criminal. Yeah, they're not understanding that if you take someone's life and it's unjust, it's a criminal act regardless of who you are. Yeah, it's not taking that into account. It's going, well, tit for tat.
Why have a criminal system though? If you just decide to just kill someone whenever you feel like it, and the people who are supposed to protect and serve and not serving or protecting is killing people because of the colour of their skin because they feel like it, and they can. And that's what's actually happening here. It's 2020, and we're still being literally lynched on the road all the time.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, it feels like that we can't do nothing about it. It feels like we can discuss it, but we can't. Like I said this one time. I had an argument with someone. It wasn't an argument. It was a real serious discussion. And some people, they don't understand that sometimes you got to fight violence with violence.
Yeah,
you know,
sometimes.
If I'll be honest, like I just pray that doesn't happen to one of my people, because I'm fighting violence with violence. Like,
it's a horrible thing, but it's true.
Yeah, I'm fighting violence with violence because that's the only way. Like, this is why I didn't understand a lot of things sometimes where we need to start to get to the space. Like, that's why I do rate the Black Panthers and and the way they came out with the guns and their foot. Like, we need to get to that level of visual representation that we're not playing those games. Because when we come out,
you're right.
Yeah, when we come out in force, I'm not even saying rioting. I mean, rioting is good, but riot at Parliament. Throw bricks at Parliament.
That's right.
Exactly.
Not right in your local areas.
Don't just march down the street and loot some buildings. Like, that's not
Go
going to do
go
it.
somewhere meaningful.
Go to Parliament. Burn Big Ben down.
You know what? It's the fact that we don't want to revert to that, right?
No.
But I'm actually tired of seeing people crying on TV saying, why don't you value my life? Why don't you take us important? Our lives matter. This whole crying and everything is getting on my nerves. Seeing people actually riot and burn things in their local community and smash up their own shops is getting on my nerves. I'm tired of the whole thing. And you're right, sometimes it takes a stance which is going to be really heard this time. We can't keep crying and we can't keep putting hashtag next to people's names. This is getting stupid. How many hashtags can we create? Like today I saw a video, and it was a Snapchat video, right? And it was like a comedy in a sense, but it's the way it came across. Wasn't funny, but it made me chuckle because I thought, wow, that's real. It had a boy, he was about to leave the house, and his mum says, right, don't, he put on his hood, and he went out the door and said, no, take your hood off. Don't put your hood on. Remember what happened to take it off, took his hood off. And he goes, all right, I'll go for a run. I'll go exercise. Don't do that, son. You'll get shot when you dog. Like, don't do that. He goes, okay then, I'll go to the shop, buy some cigarettes. Oh, don't do that, because someone will actually queue at the shops and cigarettes outside the shop, so you better just stay in the house. So he's like, you know what? Took his coat off and sat down. It's getting to the point, black men can't even leave their house.
Yeah.
You can't walk on the road and get a drink.
Yeah.
Just for being black, it's getting to the point where you will not be able to even look out your window because someone will shoot you as you look out. Like, this can't be a mode where we just put hashtag the people's names forever. This is getting ridiculous. Out of hand.
I think it's why, for me personally, like occasionally if it's someone who, it's gotten to the point now where I'm seeing so many deaths, I just don't even post it. Because, and it's not because, like, I understand why anyone would post it. I completely understand why someone posts it, because you want to spread awareness, you want to make people aware that you don't think it's right. I completely get that. But it's just, I'm at the stage now where I look at the whole picture and I go, right, the whole reason why we're in this predicament is because we were systematically divided for 400 years. Yeah? Everything was done to divide us on so many different levels. Yeah, like Fab said, even to a spiritual level. Yeah, and I feel like we're at a time now where you could connect with someone who is thousands of miles away. Yeah, who shares the same struggle as yourself. Yeah, and as this conversation is always supposed to be about what people can do, in my mind, the kind of thought process is, well, it starts with showing love to people unconditionally. Yeah, because I feel like, yes, it's a shock to certain people's systems, and people will have all these songs saying don't show your feelings or your love, and it's like there's certain types of concepts out there speaking against that, but I think that the voice has to be bigger that says show love. Yeah, show love, show appreciation. Yeah, show opportunity. If someone doesn't want the opportunity, don't want it. Yeah, but show opportunity. If they're willing to move forward, cool, the door is open. Like, if I have the tool to open a door up, I'm opening the door and I'm bringing you through. Yeah, what you do on the other side is up to you. I will show you what to do, but it's on you, if that makes sense. But I'm not going to walk through this life going, I came in alone, I'm going out alone, because that's just not the way it's set. Like, when I'm dead, there's a legacy, and that's not the legacy that I think needs to be left behind. So I believe I'm right with you where you say the whole Black Panther movement and showing that we are a presence. I feel like it's like there's many elements to this. Yeah, I feel like there is the element where we show we're not to be trifled with. So there's the militants. There's the love for each other that shows, look, I'm not what the media is telling you I'm supposed to be, so that we have an issue. Yeah, I am just me. Yeah, you are just you. But actually, we connect on a rhythmic level. Yeah, which outside of our culture, people just don't get. Yeah, which is why we interpretate things the way we interpretate them, which is why we are misinterpreted by people who are not of our culture. And it is not an insult to them. And that in itself pisses me off, for someone to get insulted because I say I am me and I'm proud to be me and, you know, appreciate my difference. Why? It's like, I don't get that. I have to go somewhere and I have to adapt to your difference. Why don't we just appreciate each other's differences? Let me step over here and deal with my differences. Yeah. My people over here need me. Let me do what I'm doing. Don't step in my way. Just stay over there, innit? Just get out of the way. Let me do what I need to do. Like, this is the only time I'm going to actually get forceful is if someone tries to block me from helping any of the people that I believe we need to help. Yeah. And I believe that anyone watching this is the same mentality. It's like, have a mentality of love, appreciate each other. Yeah. Understand that we're all imperfect. We've all come from different situations. We all have various different levels of struggle. We all share the same struggle when we step out of the house and we're looked at by society. Yeah. This is where we become the same. And this is where we need to draw together.
Yeah? How long can we keep having this conversation though of how we need to come together?
Well, we're together.
Because we're together, but it's always in small clusters. That when it comes to us becoming collectively together, there's always a line being drawn. How long can we keep blaming society or slavery for separating us? It's 2020. We need to unite and make a stand and work together and stop looking at what divided us how many years ago. We apparently have more knowledge and more power right now. So collectively we should work together to change this instead of sitting there and crying and saying my life matters and help me and why is the police doing this? Stop crying, stop pleading, and literally we've got to come together in a more productive way instead of being so separated. In 2020 we're still so disjointed, and until we fix that as a society, as Black people, things ain't gonna change.
That's
it just ain't gonna change.
That's spot on. That is spot on. You know, there was something I saw that just yesterday, and it made me realize just in this conversation, actually, a big part of this is we didn't enslave ourselves. So the first thing we actually have to do, and this might sound a little odd, but hear me out on this one. I kind of feel like we first have to forgive ourselves and we have to forgive each other. Yeah, because no matter what I'm going through, it isn't your fault. It's not your fault, Sasha. It's not your fault, Fabs. It's nobody's fault. Yeah, we all went through this and continue to go through this for reasons that are not our fault. But it starts with forgiveness. Like, rather than walking down the street and you see kids that you can't identify with and thinking, it's a shame. You could be so much, instead of thinking that, realize, you know what? You're exactly who you are. Let me show you something about yourself that you didn't know. Let me show you something about yourself that you didn't know. Yeah. Whatever the teacher said to you, forget all of that. Yeah. Whatever they told you couldn't be, forget all of that. Yeah. Whatever your parents, through the pain and struggles they went through, told you out of misinformation, forget all of that. Yeah. Whatever misinformation you got from the media, forget all of that. All the music telling you you don't need to love anyone but yourself, forget all of that. Yeah. All this money first and, you know, connections later, forget all of that. Yeah, just dead all of that. Like, we A, have to forgive ourselves, B, have to forgive each other, then we march forward. Yeah, whatever you want to do, just ask within the community, man. Like, there's always somebody who will help. Just believe that. Because if there's the three of us having this conversation, there's another three somewhere else, another three somewhere else, another three somewhere else. Collectively, there's hundreds of thousands of threes. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it is. It's cells of communication. You know, it's cells of communication, but it's also cells of movement. Like, yes, because I agree with you. Otherwise, we just talk and keep talking, and nothing changes.
Or keep
some
talking
of us
and
do
keep
well,
crying.
and others don't. Yeah, that.
Because I'm tired of seeing it like we're begging for our lives. That's what it looks like. You know, please stop killing us. Please stop this. You're supposed to help us. You're supposed to serve us. And this is how it's looking, like we're pleading for our life. Like, that's not how it should be going. No other race in the world has to start pleading for their life. If it's only happening to Black men, you're right. It doesn't happen to Jewish men. How often do you see it happen to Chinese men? How often do you see it happen to any other race of man? It's only Black men.
Like you see it.
Literally.
Mad.
That's the real sad thing. If we saw it happening to the other races, then we can then be like, okay, this is how America really is. But we have to look at what we're showed.
Exactly.
And what we're seeing and what we're showed is happening to black men.
Right.
It's happening to black men at a rate that is extortionate. This is only that we see, you know. So we got to really kind of start to really put some plans in action and some building blocks, so that we are in the right spaces to fight this. Because we haven't got the right types of organizations, we haven't got the right types of funding, we haven't got the right types of connections. So we need to start to think, okay, what are the key steps from a very baby step space to now? Because when we set up to like change org and do these partitions, we're also not in control of that process, because we don't have the lawyers that we're okay. We need to take this route to justice, etc., etc. You know, however, that is a problem that is worldwide, but also to highlight America. America is a different beast, you know. So we need to, America's a different beast. So we need to kind of be aware that this is happening all over the world.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So then the takeaways from this really are, we need to stop begging. Yeah. We need to stop begging. We need to stop expecting externally. Yeah. We need to remember the history. Yeah, with our chests. Yeah. We need to let go of everything that's been put on us. We need to build, and we need to connect what has already been built and help those that have tried to build to grow.
That's right.
And that's how we give ourselves an economic footing and an independence. And then we can build from there and build our social independence. And then we can build our emotional and our spiritual independence. Yeah. And then we can connect, you know, on deeper levels. I mean, is there anything else that you both wanted to add?
No.
Just pray for each other.
Yeah.
Let's pray for each other. Let's pray for his family. Let's pray for America, really. And just hope that we can come to some sort of healing.
Yeah, fully agreed. Okay, well, I know that's all we got time for. And yes, I know that was a very charged discussion, but definitely a discussion we need to have. I feel like we need to move this from discussion. So yes, we put in some ideas about solutions from our end, but it'd be interesting to see what solutions you guys come up with in the comments. So what I would like you to do is to like this video so that more people with a similar mindset can also get the opportunity to see this video. Share this amongst friends for the same reason, and also subscribe and hit the notifications bell to this channel so you never again miss another episode of Then Everything After. And with that, I'm Amax. I'm out.
Sasha Chantel.
Franklin, King of Trainers.